Hi friends, I'm here with a yoga offering. I've gotten a few requests for some prenatal yoga, so that's what I'll be sharing today. Anyone can do this practice, whether you're pregnant or not. And if you are pregnant, make sure you check in with your doctor or midwife to make sure you're cleared for this kind of movement. And as always, listen to your body. Some things that I suggest still may not work for you, and please do what feels right for you throughout your practice. And you are welcome to also practice regular yoga while you're pregnant. If you have a regular practice, you can just modify the things you need to and continue practicing in the way that feels right for you. What I'll offer today are some basic modifications so that you can feel comfortable to do this and then add your own things. So let's start sitting. If you have something to sit up on that may make you more comfortable, a cushion, a blanket, a bolster, maybe even a block, anything so that your hips are a little higher than your knees or at least level with your knees. And we'll begin with eyes closed. You can start to slow down your breath. Maybe let your attention drop down to the base of your pose, feeling what's touching the floor or your props. From that grounded base, lengthen all the way up through the top of your head. Without losing any of that height, just take a scan through your body and see, is there anything to let go of? Anytime you notice that your mind has wandered onto other things, just as soon as you notice, if you can come back and feel your breath, feel where your body is right now. So you can let your eyes open, keeping a soft focus, and feel free to open and close your eyes as it's useful for you throughout the practice. So we're going to bring hands to knees and start by circling your spine. You can change your leg position at any time if you need to. Go at your pace. You might imagine you're inside a jar and you're trying to scrape all the sides of the jar with your torso. Let's go the other way a couple times. And then come back to neutral, nice and tall. Drop your right ear over to right shoulder and we'll press down through the left shoulder, stretching left side of the neck. And you might lift or lower your chin, bringing the sensation to a slightly different part of your neck. Then rotate chin to chest. And come over to the other side. Both shoulders drop, but now a little bit more through the right side. Looking for a stretch there. You could lift or lower your chin. And rotate chin to chest. Come back to the first side and then go back and forth a few times. Little half circles or 3/4 circles. Watching the sensation move from one side to the other. Next time your chin is to your chest, stay there. Interlace your fingers behind your head and let your elbows hang down, stretching the back of the neck. And then release. Head floats back up. Let's take the right arm up. We're going to bend it straight back on itself. Grab your elbow and take it back. As you do this, your ribs may jut out. See if you can drop the ribs in. And again, feel around within the pose. If that's useful with movement, you're welcome to move a little bit, or just letting your awareness travel. If any of this would be better for you sitting in a chair, you are welcome to do that. I've brought a chair over, we'll be using it later, but you can go ahead and sit in your chair if that would be more comfortable for you. Let's release right arm up, open it out, take it across, and we're going to hook with the other arm, hugging it in as close as you can. As you do this, draw back through your right shoulder so you're still square across the chest. And then release, arm out, rotate your thumb to point down and wrap it around behind your back. Back of your hand at your waist, interlace fingers at your waist. Pull the knuckles around, elbows go towards one another. And then circle your right shoulder a couple times. Getting into a place that may be a little creaky or tight. And then keeping fingers interlaced, reach both arms back. Opening up the chest. And then release. Hands to knees, round back. Lean away from your hands on your knees. Drop your chin, maybe a little tight if your belly's bigger. And then release. Let's roll back up and then switch the legs. Other leg in front or on top. We'll take the left arm up this time. Bend it straight back on itself. Grab your elbow. And take it back. As you do this, draw the belly in, draw the ribs in. Creating space to breathe, spreading the rib cage. Breathing into your back. And then release, left arm up. Open it out, take it across, hook with the other arm, hug it in close. As you do this, draw back through the left shoulder. And then release, arm out, thumb points down, wrap it around. Let's interlace fingers, this time the other thumb on top, the way you don't normally cross. Knuckles towards the front, elbows towards one another, and then circle your left shoulder. Keeping fingers interlaced, reach both arms straight back, open up the chest a bit more. And then release, hands to knees, round back. Drop your chin. And then roll your way back up. Let's take both arms out to the side, flex your hands, pull your fingertips back, and press out through the base of the hand. You might even feel a little tingling through your forearms as you do this. And then curl fingertips down, pull the knuckles in as strongly as you can, but still reaching out. And then a couple big circles. Circling a few times one way, a few times the other way. We're just getting to all the parts, little movement, keeping things lubricated. And then release. All right, let's come to hands and knees, tabletop. If you have something to pad your knees with, you may want to grab a blanket or cushion. If you are placing your hands flat on the floor, try and have the fingers spread so you're taking weight into the full hand and it's not just going down through the wrist. If you've got wrist issues so that you don't want to put pressure on your wrist, you could be on knuckles with palms with facing one another, so wrists are in line. So either way, let's take a few rolls through the spine. We're going to start by lifting the head and tail, arching. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Now, inhale, arch. From here, shift your weight forward, bend your elbows straight back and dip part way or all the way to the floor and then press up from there. Round. Arch. Go forward to dip down. If going all the way down is too much, just go a couple of inches, just a little bit, and then press up from there. So finding your level. Round. Arch. Go forward to dip down. Press up. Round. Arch. One more time. Dip down. Press up. Round, and then let's sink back to child's pose. So you may want to take your knees a bit wider. If coming all the way down is too much, you could rest onto a bolster or block or blanket or cushion. So kind of experiment and see, how does this work for my body now? One of the wonderful things about practicing yoga while you're pregnant is that your body is literally changing, sometimes drastically, each time you get on your mat. So you can't go on autopilot. It really forces you to be present and figure things out in a new way, which is a wonderful way to practice because our bodies are always changing, just maybe not so drastically. So settling into a child's pose that feels right for you. Another option is to rest your forehead on your stacked fists. With arms out in front of you. Let's walk the hands over to the left and then pull back through your right hip, stretching right side a little more. Let's come through center and over to the other side. Pull back through your left hip, stretching left side a bit more. And then back to center. Let's lift up through table. Again, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to send the right leg back with toes tucked under and then press back through your heel. You can take a little rock front to back here. So as you press back, you might get a nice stretch through the calf. As you go forward, a little stretch through the toes, going front to back. And then we'll extend the right leg up to hip height. So this could be a little core strengthener. You may stay on both hands or slide the left hand forward on tented fingers or extend left arm out at shoulder height. Breathing deeply. If anything doesn't feel right, don't do it. Good. Let's release. Same thing other side. Left leg comes back, toes tucked under. We'll take a little rock front to back. And then lifting, left leg up to hip height. This might be enough, staying on two hands, or you could slide right hand forward on tented fingers or right arm out. Couple deep breaths wherever you are. And then release. Again, let's sink back to child's pose. You can widen your knees. You can take any arm position. Letting yourself rest. let's lift back up to table. Let's take the right leg back again, toes tucked under. This time we're going to drop the right heel to the floor on the inside and lift up to a side plank. Expanding past the tips of the fingers. See if you can lift up through that top arm so much you get a little light in the bottom hand. And try and roll open through the top hip. You can always experiment, explore, do something slightly different that feels good for you. Different arm position, different leg position. Release through neutral and over to the other side. Left toes tucked under. Drop the left heel to the floor on the inside. Lift the left arm up, pulling up so there's lightness in that bottom hand. If you did take any other variations, you're welcome to explore in the same way on this side. And then release. Good. So I'm going to offer a downward facing dog. If you do have socks on, you may want to take them off at this point. So down dog could feel great, in which case do down dog the way you normally do it. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. Couple of possible modifications are taking the feet a lot wider. You can instead do down dog using your chair. So there's a little more space, not so constricted, and this could be on the seat of the chair or even on the back of the chair, probably turning the chair the other way if you're using that. So a couple breaths in down dog. If you do want to pedal out the feet here, you can bend one knee as you press the opposite heel towards the floor. And then let's walk hands and feet towards one another, whatever way feels easiest for you, and hang in ragdoll. So feet at least hip width apart, maybe much wider. This could be done with elbows on knees to take some of the pressure off. This could be done with hands or elbows on a chair, or hands on blocks. Finding a position that you can let the weight of your head drop, the muscles of your face relax. And we want to go even slower as we change levels in pregnancy. So as you start to roll your way up to standing, you can walk your hands up your legs, take your time, little extra bend in the knees, and eventually come up to standing. So we'll bring hands together. We'll have feet parallel. If you're early in your pregnancy, you may want to keep feet together, but for most of us, feet apart, hip width, or even wider. So lots of space for your belly. Standing tall. And an image that really helps me in general, especially when I have been pregnant, is imagine you have a monkey tail and you're pulling it up between your legs to help drop the tailbone and have a little more support in the front. A big belly can cause a huge sway back and then some lower back pain. So thinking about that monkey tail between the legs to have some more space back there. So we'll take a few movements with the arms and the breath. Inhale, arms sweep high. Exhale, arms press down. Same thing again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms press down. One more, arms up. Exhale, arms press down. Let's add on to this. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, part way up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, arms press down. Again, inhale, arms high. Exhale, fold. You bend your knees as much as you need to. Inhale, part way up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, back up to standing. Exhale, arms press down. Let's take this one more time. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, fold. You could use the chair. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, back up. Exhale, arms press down. Good. Take a few moments, catching your breath, standing in neutral. And let's take a few standing poses. We're going to bring the right foot near the front of the mat and step the left foot back into a warrior one stance. You can make this as deep or gentle as you like, but make sure the front knee doesn't come further forward than the ankle. So you don't want the knee coming way above the ankle, just right above. So if you want a deeper lunge, take that back foot further back. With hips square or going towards square, hands on the hips, or I'll slowly straighten the front leg and then slowly bend it. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. One more, lengthen. And bend. From here, inhale, arms up. Open out, warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, slow, deep bend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. One more, lengthen. And bend. Let's hold here. Elbow to thigh, top arm rotates and comes overhead, extended side angle. And then circle your top arm back behind you. A couple big circles, opening up the chest, the shoulder. Next, big circle lifts you up. Let's straighten the front leg and try triangle pose. Reach out to come down. Now make sure you're not hyperextending or locking that bottom leg. If you tend to do that, a little bend in there. You can use a block for your hand or your shin. If you need to take the top arm out of it, you can. If the top arm is extended, pull up away from the bottom hand, creating lightness there. Last breath here. Let's release. We're going to make our way back up to standing. You can bend the front leg, use your hand on your leg to help you up, and then a couple big steps towards the front of the mat. Taking a moment, feeling the difference on the two sides, and then step the right foot back. Left foot stays at the front of the mat. I'll just turn so you can see me easier. Left foot forward, right leg back. Take it as far back as you need, squaring hips towards the front. Can still be thinking about that monkey tail. Hands on the hips. We'll inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Lengthen. And bend. One more. Inhale, arms up. Open out, warrior two. Feel free to adjust your footing. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Lengthen. And bend. One more. Forearm to thigh, top arm rotates and comes overhead. Extended side angle. And then a few big circles. Reach your arm back behind you. Next big circle lifts you up. Straighten the front leg. Reach out to come down. Triangle. So again, hand to the floor or to a block or your shin. pulling up through that top arm, rolling open through the top hip. And this time, when we release, let's bring both hands to the floor and turn to face the wide side of the mat, wide-legged forward fold. Now, if it's difficult to reach the floor, a block or some props could be useful. You could even grab your chair and rest your forearms on it. If it is possible to bring hands to the floor, you can lean into the hands or maybe let the head drop. Bend your knees as much as you need to. If you can, let the weight of your head drop. Keeping your legs more or less how they are now, walk both hands over to the right. So you might just go a little bit in that direction. You may take hold of your right foot or ankle. Work with your body as it is now. This might feel very different than the last time you were practicing. So listening, what's right. Walk your hands through center and over to the other side, over towards the left foot. Maybe you take hold of it, maybe you don't. Let's walk the hands over to the right. This time we're going to turn to face the back of the mat, coming into a lunge. So you can rotate onto the toes of that back foot. If you would rather drop your back knee, you can also drop the back knee, and feel free to have both hands on the inside of your leg, especially if your belly is on the bigger side. You can even shimmy your right foot a little more to the outside of the mat. Now we're going to take a twist here. You can keep your left hand on the floor and lift the right arm up, or have your right hand on your knee or thigh to open up through the right shoulder. So we can't twist very deeply during pregnancy, but twisting feels great if you can find a way. So listening, don't overstretch. Again, back leg can be on or off the floor, so finding the right level for you right now. You're welcome to be creative. Let's release both hands to the floor, tuck the back toes, walk your hands around through center. Take the time you need. Coming all the way to a lunge on the left facing front. And again, you can drop the back knee or keep the back leg extended. You can have your right hand on the floor and your left hand on your knee or thigh, or left arm up in the air. So coming into some variation of a twist, feeling how this is in your body now. And then release. Good. Let's walk the hands around back to center. We're going to turn the heels in, toes out, bend the knees, and roll up to a horse stance or a goddess pose. So you can decide how far away your feet are from one another, but again, make sure the knees aren't coming way over the toes. Have the knees right above the ankles. So if you want a deeper bend, take your feet further apart. And feet and knees are pointing in the same direction, pelvis neutral. And this can be great for building strength and heat. You can come out of it at any time. And then sinking deeper, going for it when that feels right. You might bring hands together. You might have hands on the hips. You want to hold your belly. Can you relax your jaw? Good. Let's come up. Toe heel your feet back towards one another. And we'll take a few balancing poses. So get solid on 2 feet. If you need a chair or a wall, feel free to go towards that. You definitely don't want to fall over. So we'll try one-legged balance doing tree. We'll bring the right leg up, and this could be anywhere from the inner ankle to the inner thigh. So you might go as high as the inner thigh, but as low as you need, anywhere above or below your knee. Arms can be out to the side to steady you or on a piece of furniture. You could also bring hands together or arms up. So choosing your challenge, and wherever you are, breathing deeply. Can you relax the muscles around your eyes? Relax your jaw. And then release. Shake that out. Get steady on 2 feet, and then we'll go over to the other side. So again, it can be the left leg on the inner ankle, the calf, the thigh, or all the way up to the inner thigh. Any arm position. Standing tall, breathing. And then release. Shake that out. So let's take another balance. If you're able, we'll try a quad stretch. So we're going to reach back for the right foot. Left arm can be out to steady you or at a chair or a wall. And remember that monkey tail. Drawing the belly in, dropping the tail down. Hip flexors and quads can be so tight. It's a great way to stretch them if you're able. And then release, shake that out. Same thing other side. And then release. Shake that out. Bring feet hip width apart or wider. Hands to the top of the buttocks. Roll your shoulders back, your elbows back. And then lift the chest, little standing back bend. I love this one when pregnant. It's very dramatic. Big heart lifting. And then release. We're going to lower all the way down to a squat. So you might need to widen your stance quite a bit. If this does not work for you, you might instead sit on something. Could be a block, couple blocks, can have the feet further out. Could also slide something under the heels like a blanket. We'll work our root lock, Mula Bandha, same as a Kegel exercise. So as you exhale, draw the pelvic floor muscles in and up. And as you inhale, release that. Exhale, engage. Inhale, release. Exhale, engage. Inhale, release. Now engage and keep holding, keep breathing, drawing in strongly through the bottom, connecting that to the top. And then release. And let's go ahead and take a seat back. You can sit down, extending legs forward. And we'll take a seated forward fold. Now feel the bowl of your pelvis. If it is tipping backward, you can start by putting a little something under your hips, a blanket or cushion, just to get the pelvis more upright. And if your belly is on the smaller side and you want to have feet together, you're welcome to, but for a lot of us, feet further apart is going to work better at this time. So you can lengthen your spine, flex your feet, and stay right here, or fold whatever amount works for you. You might make contact with your legs right away, and then that's enough. If you're able, you may grab your feet or put a strap or scarf around your feet, going towards length, towards folding, and you bring your feet as wide as you need to. Pregnancy is also a great time to get creative in your practice. I love reminding myself and my students that all of this was made up. All these traditional poses were actually made up by people just like you and me, who may have had very different bodies than you and I have. So we can do that same making it up using this body that we have right now. Couple more breaths here. And then release. Let's bring the soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana. And you can take your heels in nice and close or have a little space. So you get to choose how you want to do this. Again, hands on the floor may support you. A little lift under the hips may support you. If you're able to fold forward, just go to your edge. It could be right away on the fingertips. If you have space to fold deeper, go ahead and fold. Breathing, feeling how this is for you. Now, if you have been on the tighter side, you may enjoy in pregnancy things really loosen up. The body is flooded with chemicals that help the connective tissue become a little more elastic. But please don't overstretch. It is possible to overstretch with that. If you're on the looser side like I am, it can feel like an overcooked turkey. So you may want to take it easy, not go all the way to your edge, so you don't overstretch anything. Let's bring the upper body back up. And we're going to open the legs wide. Upavishta Konasana, wide angle pose. So wide as you can. If a lift under the hips is useful, use that. You can have hands on the floor behind you, just sitting tall or leaning forward or coming further forward. Leaning into your hands or elbows or props. Breathing right where you are. If you did fold forward, walk your way back up. Let's lean back, draw the legs in, and give a little shake out there. So we're going to get ready for our final resting pose, Shavasana. Now, depending where you are in your pregnancy, you may not want to lie on your back. The weight of the belly can put pressure on a big artery and cause lightheadedness for you. It's very uncomfortable. So, a couple of options. You could create an incline for yourself so that you're not lying flat, but at an angle. If you have a bolster or another yoga mat or some cushions, you can create an angle here that works for you. Knees can be open or legs flat. you could lie on your side and have a little something to rest your knee on, maybe a bolster or cushion. So get creative with your props until you find a position where you're able to relax into. If you are early in your pregnancy, lying in Shavasana could be just right. If there's anything else you need to do to get comfortable before lying down, take your time. Putting on layers, taking any last pose or stretch, covering up in any way. Eventually settling into stillness, and of course if you need to change position, feel free to do so at any time. But wherever you are, if you're able, letting go, taking a few moments of just doing nothing, letting go of the control of your breath, letting go of planning, of doing of any kind. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, gently waking your body up again. You might take a stretch out, and then find the most gentle way to help yourself up to sitting. You can roll to one side, you can use your hands to help you up, and we'll come to a comfortable cross-legged position. You can bring hands to your heart or onto your belly. Taking a moment to silently thank yourself for your practice. Everything that you do for yourself is not just for yourself. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for practicing with me today. Hope that was useful. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or need anything broken down, and hope you enjoy the rest of your pregnancy. Be well.